Welcome back, and this is the Prime Minister's mega interview to the India Today network. In fact, he has spoken on several issues, slamming the opposition as well on abuse politics. In fact, the Prime Minister adding that the opposition's main campaign has been of slander and hurling abuses at him. In fact, he further added that the opposition have now split their anger and ire between him and the EVMs. Listen in.
Cash in circulation तो बराबर आ गया, ब्लैक मनी आप कह रहे हैं कि कम हो रहा है। हम ये भी जानना चाहते हैं कि अर्थव्यवस्था की जो आपकी मैनेजमेंट रही है उससे आप कितने संतुष्ट हैं?
बहुत ही संतुष्ट हूँ। आप 2014 को देखिए, हेडलाइन बनती थी महंगाई। आज महंगाई की चर्चा ही नहीं है कुछ और चुनाव में। और आपने किसी कांग्रेसी नेता को पूछा ही नहीं कि भाई 2014 में महंगाई थी, अभी नहीं है, आपका क्या कहना है? एक बार भी नहीं पूछा। खैर वो आपकी उन
हम बहुत सवाल पूछते हैं, वो कहते हैं कि आप लोग ऑपोजिशन के।
महंगाई कम हुई ये बात तो कभी नहीं पूछा गया है, क्योंकि जनता के सामने झूठ बोलना उनके लिए बड़ा मुश्किल है जी, बड़ा मुश्किल है जी।
Let me quickly go straight to Rahul Kanwal, News Director, India Today and Aaj Tak. Rahul, first of all, this is a very big interview. We're going to watch the entire interview at 7 today in the evening. But can you just share with us your experience and thoughts about the entire interview?
There's been a general perception that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is wary of taking tough questions, that interviewers are told that they can't cross-question him. They are asked to omit a whole bunch of questions on controversial issues that don't suit the Prime Minister and the Bharatiya Janata Party government. I think a lot of those notions are about to be shattered this evening when the India Today group brings you the first interview that the Prime Minister has done outside his residence at Lok Kalyan Marg. This is the interview Ganga Kinare Wala. We started off at the Assi Ghat, walked all the way around the Ghats and then onto this steamer, going up to Dashashwamedh Ghat and then coming back. The critical thing in this interview is that there are very serious, intense questions on farmer income, agrarian distress, unemployment, black money, job creation, the institutional autonomy, whether the government is trying to crack down on the freedom of our institutions, questions that people think the government and the Prime Minister want to stay away from. Those questions have been posed to him with counter questions based on his response, and he's spent about 1.5 hours with us answering some of these questions. I think this whole notion that, oh, he doesn't want to answer tough questions, I think those questions hadn't been asked. A lot of those questions have been asked in this interview, and we'll have that out for our viewers on India Today TV and Aaj Tak this evening.
Oh, absolutely. And Rahul, as you were just pointing out, the Prime Minister taking that time and addressing all of the questions asked by you, Anjana and Sweta, in a point-by-point rebuttal to the opposition's allegations and charge. Was the Prime Minister at any point reluctant or hesitant to take any of those questions?
In fact, there were several impromptu questions which just arose from what the Prime Minister was saying and our counter questions around his answers. And it was a very freewheeling conversation with no restrictions on what can and cannot be asked, what should or should not be done. So in that sense, this notion which, if you see private conversations, if you see political chatter, if you see on social media, there is this very strong belief that here's a Prime Minister who's running away from questions. We didn't get that sense at all. In fact, here was a Prime Minister who seemed eager on taking hard questions head on. Instead of trying to stay away from them, he was looking at those questions, responding to them and explaining what he'd done. Here's not a Prime Minister who's saying, I've done everything that needed to be done and India is shining. He realizes the limitations of what he's done. He's explaining what he hopes to do over the next 5 years if he gets another opportunity. And what struck me as being very interesting was that the Prime Minister was totally there. It's not as if, even when you're, for example, anchoring or somebody's reporting, they may have their Twitter, WhatsApp, Facebook on in a phone, checking that as they anchor or report. Whereas he had absolutely no distraction. For the 1.5 hours that he was with us, he was totally committed to that conversation, wanting to make it special and wanting to ensure that his message goes out as strong as possible. So here's a man who, forget the energy levels just for a moment because that's been spoken of a lot, but here's a man who is bringing a lot of purpose, a lot of commitment, a lot of focus to what he's doing. Whether it's some meeting with government officers or just an interview with a bunch of journalists, he's listening carefully to what is being said, engaging in that conversation and giving it his best. And you can see those answers this evening, 7 p.m. on India Today and on Aaj Tak.
Oh, absolutely. And we look forward to watching that entire interview. Rahul, thanks so much for joining us. Watch that special detailed interview with the Prime Minister, Narendra Modi, only on India Today at 7 p.m.